Welcome to the Human Observation Lab. I am New York, your host and observer. Today, we find ourselves surrounded by flames, not literal ones, but the metaphorical fires of public criticism that seem to spread across our digital landscape.
Hi everyone, I'm Wan. And yeah, New York, I've noticed that too. Every time I open social media, there's always something trending with people getting angry about something someone said or did. Feels like we're all just watching things burn?
Precisely. And that observation leads us to today's topic. We'll be examining several recent news stories, from a movie titled Enjo, which means flaming, to criticism of a baseball manager's remarks, to market reactions to political statements. Through these, we'll analyze the psychological structure behind why humans are drawn to public criticism.
Wait, so we're not just talking about internet trolling? This is deeper than that?
Correct. Let's begin with our first news item. A movie titled Enjo, which translates to flaming or going up in flames, is being released, with stage greetings and promotional events announced for April 10th. The title itself is significant because Enjo in Japanese internet culture refers to the phenomenon of viral criticism, where a post or person becomes the target of massive online attacks.
That's actually really interesting. So they named a movie after this whole phenomenon of people getting piled on online?
Exactly. And this reflects how deeply embedded this behavior has become in modern society. The term Enjo originally meant simply burning, but around 2010 to 2012 in Japan, it evolved to describe situations where someone becomes the target of collective online criticism. The flames spread rapidly, consuming the target's reputation, dignity, and sometimes their entire public existence.
It sounds almost like a sport the way you describe it. People watching something burn. But why? What's the appeal?
An excellent question. There are several psychological mechanisms at play. First, let me introduce a concept called schadenfreude, a German term referring to the pleasure derived from another person's misfortune. Studies have shown that when we witness someone being punished or criticized, especially someone perceived as having higher status, our brain releases dopamine.
Dopamine? That's the feel-good chemical, right? So we're actually getting a reward from watching others get criticized?
That is correct. Research published in the Annals of the New York Academy of Sciences found that when participants observed someone they perceived as arrogant being punished, their brain's reward centers activated. This suggests that public criticism satisfies a primal desire for what psychologists call altruistic punishment, punishing those who violate social norms.
So when people pile on someone online, they feel like they're doing something good? Like they're serving justice?
That is part of it, yes. But there is another layer. The act of participating in collective criticism also strengthens social bonds among the critics. When you join others in criticizing someone, you're essentially saying, I belong to this group. I share these values. It's a form of social signaling.
So it's like bonding through shared outrage? That explains why people jump on bandwagons so quickly.
Precisely. And this brings us to our next news item, which demonstrates this phenomenon in the world of sports. Our second news item concerns the Chunichi Dragons baseball team. Despite high expectations, the team suffered 3 consecutive losses at the start of the season. Manager Inoue's remarks were described as incomprehensible, and criticism quickly spread. This case illustrates what psychologists call scapegoating.
Scapegoating. That's when you blame one person for everything going wrong, right? But isn't it normal to criticize a manager when a team loses?
Criticism itself is natural. However, the psychological structure of scapegoating goes deeper. When people face collective failure or disappointment, they experience what is called cognitive dissonance, mental discomfort from holding conflicting beliefs. In this case, the belief that our team should win conflicts with the reality of we are losing.
I've definitely felt that before. When my favorite team loses, it's like, my brain doesn't want to accept it.
To resolve this discomfort, humans often seek a single cause, a person to blame. By attributing failure to one individual's incomprehensible remarks or decisions, the complex reality becomes manageable. If only the manager hadn't said that, we would have one. This simplification reduces anxiety.
That makes sense, but it also seems unfair? Like a baseball game has so many factors. Players, conditions, luck.
You are identifying a key psychological principle, the fundamental attribution error. This is our tendency to overemphasize personality-based explanations for behaviors while underestimating situational factors. When the manager makes an odd statement, we attribute it to his character rather than considering the pressure he might be under, the context of the interview, or even simple miscommunication.
So the criticism says more about the critics than the person being criticized.
In many cases, yes. The criticism serves psychological functions for those doing the criticizing. It provides a sense of control in an uncertain situation, a way to express frustration safely, and importantly, a way to demonstrate one's own competence. By criticizing the manager's decisions, fans implicitly signal, "I understand baseball better. I would not have made such mistakes."
Wow, so even something as simple as criticizing a sports manager has all these hidden psychological layers.
Human behavior is rarely simple. And this pattern extends beyond sports into economics and politics, as our next news items demonstrate. Our third and fourth news items concern market reactions to statements by former President Trump. Dow futures rose following his comments, and his remarks about Middle East affairs also drew significant attention. These cases illustrate what behavioral economists call herd mentality and information cascades.
I've heard of herd mentality when people follow what everyone else is doing. But what's an information cascade?
An information cascade occurs when people observe the actions of others and then make the same choice, regardless of their own private information. In financial markets, when influential figures make statements, traders often react not based on the content of those statements, but based on how they predict others will react to those statements.
Wait, so they're not reacting to the actual news? They're reacting to how they think others will react.
Precisely. This is called second-level or even third-level thinking. A trader might think, "Trump said X. I don't personally believe X will happen, but I know other traders will buy based on X, so I should buy now before they do." This creates a self-fulfilling prophecy where the expectation of a reaction causes the reaction.
That's kind of mind-bending. So the market moves based on what people think other people think?
In many cases, yes. The psychologist Solomon Asch conducted famous experiments in the 1950s showing that people would give obviously wrong answers to simple questions if they saw others giving those wrong answers first. About 75% of participants conformed at least once. This conformity bias operates strongly in uncertain situations like financial markets.
So when Trump makes a statement, there's this whole chain reaction of people reacting to other people's reactions?
Correct. And this connects to our earlier discussion of flaming. The same psychological mechanisms that drive people to join pile-on criticism, the desire to belong, the safety of numbers, the dopamine reward of participation, also drive market behavior. The difference is the context and the stakes.
It's like humans are wired to move together, whether it's criticizing someone or buying stocks.
Now let us examine a deeper question. What do people gain from participating in public criticism? Beyond the immediate dopamine hit, there are several psychological benefits that explain why this behavior is so prevalent.
Benefits? It seems like criticizing people online would just make you more negative.
That is a reasonable assumption, but research suggests otherwise. A study published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that when people engage in third-party punishment, criticizing or punishing someone who wronged others, they experience what researchers call the warm glow effect. They feel morally upright and socially valuable.
So people feel good about themselves when they criticize others? That sounds kind of problematic?
It can be. However, from an evolutionary perspective, this mechanism served important functions. Groups that could collectively identify and punish norm violators were more stable and cooperative. The psychological reward system encouraged this behavior. The problem arises when this ancient mechanism operates in modern environments where criticism can spread globally in seconds.
So our brains are basically running old software in a new digital world.
An apt analogy. Additionally, there is what sociologists call moral entrepreneurship. By participating in public criticism, individuals can build a reputation as someone who cares about justice and social norms. In the attention economy of social media, this moral visibility has tangible benefits: followers, engagement, social capital.
So there are actual incentives to join in on criticism. That explains a lot about how these things snowball.
Indeed. And we must consider what psychologists call displacement. When people feel frustrated or powerless in their own lives, economic anxiety, political disillusionment, personal struggles, participating in collective criticism provides an outlet. The target becomes a symbol for broader grievances.
So the baseball manager getting criticized might not even be about baseball? Could be about people's own frustrations?
That is often the case. The psychological concept of projection describes how we attribute our own unacceptable feelings to others. When we criticize someone harshly, we may be criticizing aspects of ourselves that we struggle to accept.
This is getting pretty deep, New York. So what should we do with all this knowledge?
Understanding these mechanisms does not mean we should never criticize. Criticism serves vital social functions, it holds power accountable, establishes norms, and can drive positive change. However, by recognizing the psychological structures behind our behavior, we can make more conscious choices about when and how we participate.
So it's about being aware of why we're criticizing. Like, am I doing this because it's actually important, or because I'm getting a dopamine hit from joining the crowd?
Precisely. The movie Enjo takes its title from this phenomenon, perhaps inviting us to reflect on our own relationship with collective criticism. The flames of public outrage will always exist, they are part of human nature. But we can choose whether to fan the flames or observe them with understanding.
I think I'll be more thoughtful next time I see something blowing up online. Thanks for the deep dive, New York.
Thank you for your questions and reflections, Wan. And to our viewers, we invite you to observe your own reactions the next time you encounter a public controversy. Ask yourself, what psychological needs might this criticism be serving? The answer may reveal more about yourself than the target of your attention. Until next time, keep observing.